Hello, I'm Kyle Ferroly, and you're probably wondering why the heck I'm in my orange chair in my studio instead of on a stage for you to see, right? I promise we'll get to that. Thank you for your consideration of having me at your next event. My goal in this short little preface is to explain to you that something that probably won't come out in the video when we're jumping from clip to clip to clip. I will be showing you a talk part that is more academic, part of the talk that is a little bit more of a engagement with the audience with an example of a story, as well as a full-on clip of a workshop that I gave in Las Vegas to about 90 people last year, teaching them how to breathe more effectively. But what I want you to understand is that most people have this blind spot in their life, in their daily life, personal or professional, and that is that they think that they can snap out of it or think their way out of it. But scientists will show you, in the last 20 years of studying the mind and the last 11 years of studying the brain, I will help explain to your group or organization why the mind-brain-body connection is so important, and that we can't just think our way out of these problems that we face. It gets stuck in our brain signals our body, etc. You'll learn more about that later on. But I wanted to at least thank you personally for taking your time to consider me for your event, as well as tell you a little bit about why it's so important to hopefully see this as valuable information for your organization or group if you would like them to be healthier, happier, and more productive. I'm Kyle Ferroly, and I look forward to meeting you soon. Thanks. Have any of you been in a situation recently, maybe tripping back to when you were 5 or 6 and you were so excited to say something, and no one was like letting you talk, and you started dancing a little bit and you're like, I gotta say something. Well, I'm still that kid, but just dressed a little nicer. The vision I have was started by a doctor named Daniel Amen, and he's one of the only people looking at the organ that he treats when it comes to mind and brain health. Traditional medicine, as you know, you're handed a pill. Pills have side effects. There's also 7 different patterns of anxiety alone. How do you know which one you're getting? How do you know if the pill is gonna work for you, because no one's looking at your brain? So the fight or flight response is something we all go back to remembering from Psych 101. Bear chases us, our body locks up, our heart races, we sweat. But since I've studied the physiology angle at the doctorate level now, I understand that not only do you get the racing mind and the cold hands and the shallow breath, which gives you less oxygen to your brain, but your brain also takes a little break right when you need it. So doctors are guessing on symptoms, and your brain is taking a break when you need to use it. You see why I have a job? When we go through an event in life, we have a perception of it. I was going to bring a gift card for $100 and offer it to somebody if they could come up with, what do we use every day that doesn't exist? It's our mind. And then I was going to say, but it's used, do you still want it? It's the same gift card, but the perception has changed. Do we change the thoughts? Do we change the perception? That's your choice. But when the expectation in our head doesn't match reality, we throw a little fit. We don't do it on the outside, we do it on the inside. The prefrontal cortex is one of the things that we look at the most. And it is where we make decisions, our impulse, judgment, planning, analysis, reason. If you shut that off because of fear, and we all know now that fear is more than just the bear chasing us, how productive are you going to be? Now this enters the corporate world. How productive are you going to be in your relationships? It enters your family world. Are you going to maybe post something on Facebook and get canned because you weren't using your prefrontal cortex? We all have these fearful things, and when we live in it, we don't know we're in it. So I want to walk everybody through a breathing exercise that is different from anything else you've probably seen. I don't mean to step on anybody's toes. If there's any yoga people in here or breathing people in here, I better find out who's in all this stuff. Ooh, good. I can have fun. Do you breathe in the same amount as you breathe out? What you've been taught? Yes or no? Excellent. I'm safe. Because I've gotten in heated debates with people where they say, breathe in and breathe out. 5 seconds in, 4 seconds in, whatever it is. If you breathe in, you activate your nervous system. If there's a snake there, I'm going to go, and then I realize, oh, it's just a twig. I exhale. If you make your inhale about 40%
and your exhale about 60%, you're going to be in a different place than if you go in 50 and out 50, in 50 and out 50. You can all do this right here. The field of psychophysiology is where I am coming from. We look at the mind, the brain, and the body. The mind can trigger the brain can trigger the body, and then we can look with equipment at what your body's doing when you're relaxed versus when you're stressed. And you can actually see with your own eyes what your insides are doing. Like when you take your temperature or you check your heartbeat. $300 billion is wasted on stress and anxiety and healthcare costs. 60% of the people that have anxiety are not being treated. My method, it's not a treatment, it's a training. If you learn how to self-regulate your brain and your body and your mind, you don't need a treatment anymore. Stop depending on a pill. Ditch the pill, learn the skill. So I'm not saying it's either or, it's and. We want to look at the brain, we want to look at the mind, and we want to look at the body together. I hope this has been beneficial for you. Thank you for your time.